Welcome everyone. Welcome to the class 1 of Discover Kabbalah 1. I'm very happy to be with all of you tonight, and I'm also very excited to give this course today. So, in this course, we are going to learn about the principles and the laws of the wisdom of Kabbalah and how to use them into our everyday life. So before we start, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Eliane. When I first met the concept of Kabbalah, I was then studying psychotherapy. And I was just about to graduate as a psychotherapist and to start practicing as a therapist, but I wasn't convinced enough. Something was missing. I couldn't connect the dots. I wasn't convinced that by sitting, even though I know that it was important, but by me sitting with a person and listening to the story and analyzing the stories together, that would help the person to transform their lives and to live a life, much more fulfilling life. So I wasn't very much convinced. But when I met Kabbalah and the center, I found answers to my questions. I remember then that my teacher said to me, "You know, Eliane, in Kabbalah, we don't fix problems. We don't do stress management, or we don't do marriage management. We don't do things like that. We only connect to the light." And that was it. It gave me so much clarity, so much excitement. I had a sense of purpose. Actually, I understood why I was doing what I was doing. So this is called consciousness, and it's the most important concept in Kabbalah, consciousness. So, let's go now to what Kabbalah is. Kabbalah is a very ancient spiritual wisdom, a 4,000 years old spiritual wisdom, which teaches us the spiritual laws of the universe. As we know, there are physical laws of the universe, such as the law of gravity. Let's say if we push something out of the window, it will fall. Or if we put a bucket of water on to heat, it will heat at 100 degrees. As we know, there are physical laws. The same, there are also spiritual laws, like cause and effect, that we are not so much aware of. Actually, only when we have problems, we get into chaos, challenges, then we could ask ourselves, why is this happening to me? Or we can choose to become a victim and blame others. So this is what we can do. Actually, things don't happen by themselves. And in Kabbalah, we learn that there is no such thing as the suddenly syndrome. For example, if we want to plant a tree, we plant a seed and we get a tree. If we plant an apple seed, we get an apple tree. If we plant a cherry seed, we get a cherry tree. Just the same way in our lives, whatever seeds we plant, we get the results. What are those seeds? Those seeds are our consciousness, our thoughts, our intention, why we do what we do. This is our consciousness. And Kabbalah teaches us that the seeds, everything is in the seed. Consciousness is the seeds that determine everything. Everything is about consciousness. Consciousness is a state of mind that affects our words, our actions, our dreams, the way we perceive life. And if we want to have control of our lives, if we want to control our life, not to become a victim, as we said before, then we must be very, very careful, very much aware of the seeds we plant and the consciousness we have. Is that okay until now? We are all together? Good. Okay, today we will learn about two different levels of consciousness. So there is one level of consciousness, which is the body consciousness, which is the lower level of consciousness. And there's also the second level of consciousness, which is the soul consciousness, which is the higher level of consciousness. The lower level of consciousness, which is the body consciousness, is the place where all of us are most of the time. In the lower level of consciousness, we have a very, very narrow view of life, a limited perspective of life. But in the higher level of consciousness, the Kabbalists say that if we tap into this higher level of consciousness, we can attract miracles, we can change many, many things, transform many things in our lives. And this is what we are going to learn in Kabbalah. The purpose, our goal is to expand our consciousness, to elevate our consciousness. Because could be any situation, any event, and we can have two different glasses, two different perspectives, two different ways of looking. We can look at this event or this situation from a lower place of consciousness or from a higher level of consciousness. For example, let's say we go on dating. We go on dating and we have a lower level of consciousness. So what will we be interested in? It will be attraction, it will be how does he or she treat me, or what is in it for me. So all this me consciousness will take us to some direction. But if we connect to the higher level of consciousness, then it will bring us everything that we really, really need. Okay, so let's go now to what Kabbalah is. Do you know what Kabbalah, the word Kabbalah means? Does any one of you know what the word Kabbalah means? Kabbalah means to receive fulfillment. So there are two types of fulfillment, which is the short-term fulfillment, and there's also the long-term fulfillment. So before I go into that, I just want to ask every one of you, what is it that you really, really want in your life? What you really want to receive in your life? Could you share with us? What is it that we really want in our life? Is it money, love, children, house? So I just want to show you this slide. 1 second. Okay, I couldn't do it now. 1 second. Oh my God. Okay. So we want family, love, prosperity, miracles. There are lots of things that we want to receive in our life. Yes? Okay. Okay. But actually, almost all of us, we want to receive the same thing. But what do we really, really want to receive? We really, really want to receive the energy. Most of us, we think that what we want to receive is the physicality, is the package. But it's not true. It's not true. We want to receive the energy. Like when we go into a room and we just switch on the light. Is the bulb electricity? It's not. The electricity is the energy which is within the bulb. So we are confused. Most of the time we think that the bulb is the energy, the bulb is the electricity. So the Kabbalists split those desires into two. The short-term desires and the long-term desires. I mean the desires into two. So some of the desires will give us short-term fulfillment, and some of the desires will give us long-term fulfillment, endless fulfillment. For example, you will see that for example, attraction is a short-term desire. Love is a long-term desire. How many times did we see couples that were so much attracted to each other, but at the end they end up not wanting to see each other, not couldn't stand each other? How come? They were so much attracted. And for example, another example could be we work so much to earn money to get a house. We get the house, but then it's very cold. It's only walls. There's no warmth in it. It's not a home. There's no aliveness in it. So we don't want attraction, we want love. It's not the house that we want a home. It's not the money, the piece of paper, it's the security. And it goes like that. So the lower level, just to summarize, the lower level of consciousness is the body consciousness, and it gives us short-term fulfillment. And the higher level of consciousness is the long-term, is the soul consciousness, and gives us long-term fulfillment. Okay, so, and also we believe that pursuing the lower level of consciousness will fulfill us in a very short term, but will empty us in the long term. So I just want you to look at those pictures now.